Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county sheriff in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, December the 2nd, 2018. The time 1:17 a.m. First, I thank all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. Excuse me. I'm continuing to keep myself employed right here in the Memphis tri-state area. I'm continuing to further my education, Monroe College Online, pursuing my social reach, studying business administration, concentration mark at this present time. I've taken a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College Online to pursue my social reach, studying business administration, concentration mark. Now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do my Instagram. Excuse me. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county sheriff, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, December the 2nd, 2018. The time 1:19 a.m. First, I thanking all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. Excuse me. First, I want to always give thanks to God for all the blessing and guidance that He provides us all with. Now, I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they're a gang plus stir. People saying they're mob plus stir. People saying they're People saying they a boss, they a goon, they a thug. People saying they a crook, they a hoodlum, and they a Mac, they a player. People saying people say they a pimp, they a whore, people say they a hustler, and people even say they a nigga, and field nigga, house nigga. People say all this ignorant nonsense, because that's what it is, some ignorant nonsense. Street slang. People all over the earth communicate, use language. Now all that ignorant nonsense, that street slang, like some street slang, like we've been talking about, children's game, tic-tac-toe, street slang, tic-tac-toe, some street slang, hop and scotch, children's game, hopscotch, music, excuse me, like we were talking about, taking the words, switching them around, all that, street slang for music, hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, do, wop, be, bop. We take these words, switch them around, and you be like wop and bop, bop and wop, hop and roll and hip and rock, but the street slang, street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. It's all your street slang. Now, like we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and we can look up money, because people all over the world use money, currency, exchange. People all over the world use money, and they make up street slang for money. Now, here in the United States of America, street slang for money, for example, bucks, rack, stack, bands, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamins, dead presidents, street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. It's street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. Yeah. So like I said, ain't nothing official about no street slang. And then you think about let's just say myself. I graduated high school, earned my high school diploma, and then I took some college courses. I haven't earned my associate degree yet, but I've taken some classes, some college courses, and some people, they didn't graduate high school, but they did earn a GED. And then you have those people that they didn't graduate high school, and they didn't earn no high school diploma. They didn't earn no GED. Excuse me. And so they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. You don't know how to read. You don't know how to write. You don't know how to do math. You don't know science. You don't know technology. You don't know social studies. You see what I'm saying? And then also, you don't know vocational or technical training, because you don't know how to read. You don't know how to write. You don't know how to read. You don't know how to write. You don't know math. You don't know. See? But see, when it comes to all that street slang and all this other ignorant nonsense, see, the sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and the fraternity. They have the bachelor degree, the master degree, the PhD. See, this the weekend. This. Excuse me. Yesterday was Sunday. And today is yesterday was Saturday, excuse me, and today is early Sunday morning, excuse me. Yesterday was Saturday, so it's the weekend. But when Monday morning comes, Everybody got to be at work. Me, everybody else got to be at work. And the sorority and the fraternity going to be waiting for us to come back to work. And all that ignorant nonsense that come out of people's mouths. They wait till you get to work for all this ignorant nonsense, to be done. But think about it now. I'm at home. I'm not at work. The majority of the people that, be at work when I be at work, I don't socialize with them when I'm not at work. Especially the people that's in management. The people with the bachelor degree, the master degree, the PhD. We don't socialize when we're not at work. You get the point now? If you don't socialize, just say, I'm a man. And let's just say it's a woman with a bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. We not at work. Do we socialize when we not at work? Think about it. Bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. I'm not at work. Do the women socialize with me when I'm not at work with the bachelor degree, the master degree, PhD? Think about it. See, that's where all that ignorant nonsense come from. See, the sorority and the fraternity. See, them women in them sorority, remember we were talking about the blood gang and the Crip gang out there in California, Los Angeles, California. Remember we were talking about up there in Chicago, Illinois, the folk gang and the My People gang. See, think about it. The sorority and the fraternity. See, you're being misled by the sorority and the fraternity. All that ignorant nonsense. Excuse me. Now this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. This is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. This is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, as you can see, those organizations, and there are some other organizations, and such as Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, and also Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, the Conservation Fund, League of Conservation Voters, Earth Watch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, and also the Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organizations, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network, and also the Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, and also Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, the World Water Council, the Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, the Oceanic Preservation Society, the Oceanic Society, the Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance, those organizations. Now, we've been talking about the sorority and the fraternity, and the other organizations like the United Nations and World Wildlife Fund, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, Anti-Slavery International, and Fauna and Flora International, Bird Life International, and all these organizations and many other organizations that I didn't mention. They doing the intent behind these organizations, the history, excuse me, that these organizations came to us. It can be wildlife, it can be environmental, it can be nature, it can be human rights organizations, it can be an organization of all kinds, like what they call them, non-profit organizations, NGOs, non-government organizations. And so it's a lot of things that these organizations are intending to try to make life better. You understand? Like, for example, United Nations, and the United Nations got all kind of organizations like UNICEF, the United Nations Foundation for Climate Control, the United Nations Human Rights High Commission for Refugees, the United Nations UNESCO, Education, Science, and Culture, UNESCO. We can go on and on. The United Nations and all these organizations, all this effort is trying to address the problems that the people all over the world have. And we've been talking about organized crime, and we know that organized crime is a fact. It's a fact. It's not something that's fiction, some invisible, it's a fact. Now, as you know, organized crime is not a skin color. Or not, you want to point the finger and say like who's doing all the wrong, and we can identify. No, you can't, because this 2018, and organized crime is so widespread that it's in and in everybody. It's not a skin color. It's not a language. It's not a gender. It's not man. It's not a male or female. It's not an age. It's not like young and old. like I said, it's any and everybody, because that's what their intent is to have so much influence in every aspect of society. It's not even no religion, it's all religion. They had all these years to infiltrate and undermine the governments around the world and organizations around the world, like all these organizations, including the United Nations. See, organized crime is trying to infiltrate and trying to undermine the United Nations. Think about all these refugees around the world, while the United Nations is trying to work for world peace. Just look at all these refugees around the world. And you still have wars being fought. They still fighting wars in Central Africa, the Central African Republic. Look what's going on in South Sudan and in Sudan, Northern Sudan. Look what's going on in Libya. All those refugees trying to leave Libya and North Africa. Look what's going on in Mauritania. Look what's going on in Syria. Look what's going on in Ukraine. Look what's still going on in Chechnya. Excuse me. Think about North Korea, South Korea. Today, we still have a North Korea and a South Korea. Look what's going on in Mexico. You see what's going on today here in the United States of America and Mexico. That caravan. You see the caravan? What time is it? Okay. No, I was looking at the clock. But think about that all around the world. And think about organized crime. The caravan that we're talking about. It's, coming out of Central America, South America, Central America, coming through Mexico, trying to come to the United States of America, and organized crime. You see what I'm talking about? It ain't no age. See, look at all those little girls and little boys. Look at the little children. Look at all those men and women, young and old, and sexual orientation. Look at all those homosexuals and lesbians and all this organized crime. Look what's going on in Yemen, on the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, in Yemen. Look what's going on in Somalia. Look what happened between Eritrea and Ethiopia. Now they got a peace agreement. See, it's all kind of war. Look what's going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo. All over sub-Saharan Africa. War. And then when you have war, you have all these refugees. In Iraq, look at Iraq. Look at what's going on in Myanmar right now. All those refugees in Myanmar. And when you think about organized crime, it's not a skin color. And it's not no language. See? Excuse me. And see, we were talking about the fraternity and those secret societies. And see, it's all tied in. It's all tied in. See, a lot of people don't see like what they got to do, but it got a lot to do with when you know the history of the sorority and the fraternity. It's organized crime. Now, Harvard University is the oldest institute of higher learning in the United States, founded on March 13, 1639 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia. Founded February the 8th, 1693. It's the second oldest institute of higher learning in the United States of America, here in North America. Now, Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December the 5th, 1776. The College of William and Mary, and is recognized as the first Greek letter society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority founded in 1851, Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, at Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. Now, as you know, African Americans being brought over here as slaves, the East African and West African slave trade, and during that period of time, African Americans were slaves on the plantation, so we were not involved in the sorority fraternity. Now, when it the sorority, after the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation and all that, African Americans was not involved in the sorority because we were being denied education, and then we're being discriminated against. We're not involved in this fraternity or sorority. There's nothing official about no sorority or fraternity. And to be honest with you, when you know the history of all that slavery, the sorority and fraternity is not right anyway. It's not right anyway. There's nothing right about no fraternity. And then you got slaves coming over here from sub-Saharan Africa. And instead of trying to do what's right, you doing what's wrong. And then the sorority denying African American education and discriminating against African Americans. There's nothing right about no sorority, no fraternity. There's nothing right about no sorority, and most certainly ain't nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. Now, as you know, the sorority and fraternity, the basis of the sorority and fraternity is the old world secret societies. Now, the Freemasons, they had it, they be talking about Euclid, the mathematician. And, he lived over in Alexandria, Egypt. And, he mentioned in the Hollowell manuscript, or the Regis poem. And, then you got the Matthew Cook manuscript. And then you also have the Dowling manuscript. Now, these secret societies such as Skull and Bones, the Rosicrucians, the Sons of Liberty, the Thug Society, the Priory of Sion, the Ordo Templis Orientis, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the ancient Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Approved Order of Redmond, the Pio Sisterhood, the Freemasonry, and then Freemasonry, they had them what they call them, the Eastern Stars, and then the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pythias, the Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forester Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veiled Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, the United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grange, the Ancient Order of Hermannans. So, that's just a few. I didn't mention all of them, but, there's just a few. There's some more. But, like I said, when it comes to that sorority fraternity, that's the basis of the sorority fraternity. What I just got through talking about. The secret society from the old world. And so, when you think about all these businesses, companies, and corporations, the organization we got through talking about, the sorority and the fraternity, infiltrate, undermine, all that pollution, ground pollution, air pollution, water pollution, businesses, companies, and corporations here in the United States of America. Now, like we just got to point out, people in other countries, not here in the United States, but just like Canada, for example, and Mexico, they have businesses, companies, and corporations that are not, started here, here in the United States, but they were started in Mexico by the Mexicans. In Canada, started by the Canadians. Businesses, companies, and corporations. Excuse me. And so, that's a significant point to point out when it comes to the sorority and the fraternity, and how people do business, how people, companies and corporations operate. Because see, the sorority and the fraternity, that's here in the United States of America. But like when you go to Europe, Mexico, Central America, South America, Canada, when you go to Central Asia, see, people do things in a different way. And so when you think about the sorority and the fraternity, now don't forget that the United States of America, the Foreign Service, the U.S. military, excuse me, excuse me. See, that's the sorority and fraternity, just like the Peace Corps, the sorority and the fraternity. See, they try to influence people in a negative way with that gang nonsense, organized crime. Just like here in the United States of America, just like we continue to point out. For example, Los Angeles, California, the Blood Gang, Crip Gang. See, people being misled by the sorority and fraternity. Up there in Chicago, Illinois, all around the United States of America. This whole concept of a gang. Excuse me. Up there in Chicago, Illinois, the folk gang, my people gang, it's the sorority and the fraternity. When you know the history of organized crime here in the United States of America, first of all, African Americans were brought over here to be slaves. And for a long period of time. And then the emancipation, the Civil War, Emancipation Proclamation, African Americans was still, being denied education and being discriminated against all the way up till, the early 1900s. But then with the Brown versus education, all this. And then with affirmative action, trying to do something about this discrimination. But see, when you talk about places like Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, see, organized crime is the reason why. It don't have nothing to do with African Americans choosing to move anywhere. It was always organized crime. When you think about the name of Chicago, the Native Americans, the name Chicago, Native Americans. Now you, what's his name? DuSable. He was from Haiti. You understand? He about the only African American for a long period of time. The first, that founded a trading post on that land that's called Chicago. But still, for a long period of time, it wasn't like no place for African Americans to move up until the early 1900s with industrialization, the auto factories and stuff. You know, that was like after World War II. That was after World War II. Excuse me. And so when it comes to Chicago, Los Angeles, African Americans being in America, moving from, you know, from the eastward part, like from Memphis, then moving to Los Angeles. Nobody African American is based on the West Coast. Everybody that's living out that way, they families move from, you know, from an eastward direction, that way, out west. And see, even before African American moved out west, it was organized crime. It was always organized crime, doing things and, putting these ideas in people's mind. So, and then, the sorority and the fraternity, they continue to, to promote this organized crime concept in the African American community. It's nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. It's wrong. All it is organized crime. They're not doing anything to benefit African Americans. You can't never prove that it's because of the sorority and the fraternity. This number of African Americans have progressed. No. If anything, sorority and fraternity is destroying the African American community with crime. With crime. And that's exactly what they're doing. Destroying the African American community with crime. But that's all they promote is criminals. It's criminality. That's all you're doing is promoting criminality. And I know what it was. It was I didn't forget. I got it wrote down. Yep. I didn't forget. But it's on my mind. This week we talking about the United Nations. And this week, as you know, it was World Children's Day. And then we had end violence against women this week. We had United Nations Day this week. We had World AIDS Day this week. So it's been a lot of things been going on all this week with the United Nations. And we applaud the United Nations, all the work that the United Nations do. And hope that, we thank God every day that we have a United Nation. Thank God every day that we have a United Nation. Excuse me. Sometimes be just congested. Excuse me. Oh yeah, there was one more thing I wanted to just talk about. One more thing. It's related to what we're talking about, organized crime and the wrong that people be doing. Just like we've been talking about pollution, ground pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, destroying the environment, destroying the wildlife, nature. It was something that, matter of fact, this past week, Thanksgiving, then Black Friday, all that, then this week came up. Well, on Thanksgiving, I was sitting there watching, the dog show, the Westminster Dog Show. And previously we had been talking about abusing animals and wildlife and nature pollution. And I was thinking, how people be taking those dogs and be abusing dogs. Not at the Westminster Dog Show, nothing. But I'm saying it just put a thought in my mind. And different breeds of dogs. How these breeds of dogs, like the German Shepherd and the Poodle and the Lhasa Apso and all the breeds of dogs. But then dogs have health problems too. That's the reason why you have a veterinarian. Cats, people abuse cats and dogs, animals, abusing animals. And one of the things that you have to be so watchful, one of the things you have to watch people about abusing cats and dogs is breeding. We're talking about breeding. When you see people breeding animals, dogs and cats, they be abusing animals. They do. Because see, all animals have health problems. And when you be breeding, like dogs and cats, see, people don't think about the health problems that the animals have. And then especially with these crossbreeds. You have to watch people. You have to watch people. You do. When you see a person, when you see like a pit bull, see, that's a good example. You think about the pit bull. Well, you know where it came from. The bulldog and the bull terrier. Now the person who did all that, if you had a thought about it, you see, the people that breed dogs, they'll always tell you that if you had just took a Staffordshire Terrier, all that you did with the pit bull, it was already there. Because that's what a Staffordshire Terrier is. He a Mastiff, he a Bulldog, he a Bull Terrier. Because see, that's where the Bull Terrier came from, the Staffordshire Terrier. And then what they did, they took another dog to make the Bull Terrier white. But if you know dog breed, when you see a Bull Terrier, you know where he came from. You know where he came from the Staffordshire Terrier. They took the Staffordshire Terrier and kept breeding them. And then they added another dog that was white to make the Bull Terrier white. Do you understand? See, this is how you have to watch people about abusing animals. It's through dogs, through the breeding. Because see, dogs, they have health problems too. And then when you breed dogs, the puppies, the kittens, they inherit the health problems. For example, just like we talking about the bulldog and the bull terrier to make a pit bull. A bulldog has skin problems. So the pit bull, he inherited from the bulldog the skin problem. And then the bull terrier, he have health problems. And then the pit bull, he inherited from the bull terrier the health problems from the bull terrier. So now that dog, not only does he have health problems from the bulldog, but he have health problems from the bull terrier too. See, that's abusing animals. That's how you be abusing animals. Dogs, cats, and all animals. It's through the breeding. Just like a German Shepherd. A lot of people, a German Shepherd, he have a hip problem. When you see a German Shepherd, and when you see him stand, see, you don't ever think about, when a German Shepherd try to run. You understand? He have health problems. Most German Shepherds have what they call it hip dysplasia. They have a problem with their hip. They have a hip problem. And then there you go trying to breed the dog. And not only do you breed them, but you took the German Shepherd Some of these stupid people, they'll try to breed a German Shepherd with a bulldog. A bull German Shepherd. You don't think about the health problem. That's abusing animals. So be on the lookout for a lot of these crossbreeds. Because see, it's kind of hard to catch people, abusing animals when you got a German Shepherd mating with another German Shepherd. But when you see a German Shepherd mating with a Chihuahua, be on, some should tell you right then and there. This is animal abuse. This is animal abuse. See, be on the lookout for those crossbreeds, because then you can see that is, and then you can see the way people treat animals. Be on the lookout for these people that's breeding animals, because they be abusing animals. They be abusing. And these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do my periscope. Do my periscope. I see I'm still at 100% on my phone, so hello everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county, it's in the state of Tennessee. The date is early Sunday morning, December the 2nd, 2018. The time 2:09 a.m. First, say thank you to all my family, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logos. Now remember these words: coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now I just did my Instagram. I know everybody will be like, what took you so long? Well, you know, I always do my Instagram, but I have my YouTube channel going at the same time. But I just got finished doing my Instagram. Now I just checked my phone, and it's still at 100%. Now I'm gonna let everybody know I did buy me a new phone. I did buy a new phone. I'm still at this point in time. I'm using my old phone. I haven't activated the new phone. I was in the process of trying to activate it, but you gotta pay the activation fee, and they talking about your phone number. It's a process I'm going through. But by the end of this week, I'm gonna get all this straightened out this week with my phone, with the new phone, because I done bought the phone now, so it ain't like I'm gonna give it back or anything. But like I said, I just be in my Instagram, and now while I got my YouTube channel going, what I'm gonna do, because it takes so long, to upload. When I get to a certain point, I'm just gonna stop my YouTube channel and then start a new one. But as for my parents, I'm just gonna let it run, and if it cuts off, well, I got my YouTube channel back up. So I'm gonna continue to complain. I'm gonna continue to speak out. People saying they're gang pluster, a mob pluster. People saying they're a boss, they're a goon, they're a thug. People saying they're a crook, they're a hoodlum. People saying they're a Mac, they're a player. And some people say they're a pimp, they're a whore, and all this. They say they're a hustler. People say they're a nigga. You're a nigga house nigga. I'm serious. People talk that way. People talk that way. And, some ignorant nonsense. It's street slang. Street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. And examples of street slang, just like music, for example. Hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, doo, wop, beat, bop. We can go on the quick reference, Wikipedia, and we can look up some street slang for money, because people all over the world use money, just like people all over the earth communicate and use language. People all over the earth use money, currency, exchange. And examples of some street slang for money here in the United States is dough, books, rack, stack, bands, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamins, dead presidents. It's all street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. And person like myself, graduated high school, earned my high school diploma, and I took some college class. I had some classes, took some college courses. I haven't earned my associate degree yet. And some people, they didn't graduate high school, but they got a GED. And then you have those people who didn't graduate high school. They don't have no GED. You don't know. You don't know how to read. You don't know how to write. You don't know how to do math. You don't know. You don't know science, technology. You don't know social studies. You don't know vocational and technical training, because you don't know how to read. You don't know how to write, and you don't know how to do math. It's all this, you don't know. See, the people, with the education, the bachelor's degree, the master's degree, the PhD, the sorority and the fraternity. See, they had the education. That's where all that street slang come from. The sorority and fraternity. This is the weekend. Yesterday was Saturday. Today is Sunday. It's the weekend. The sorority and the fraternity waiting on me and everybody else to come back to work Monday morning. All that ignorant nonsense, that street slang stuff, then you say all that. But like I was saying on Instagram, think about here it is, I'm at home on the weekend. Think about all those people in management, the bachelor degree, the master degree, the PhD. They don't even know me on the weekend. They don't even think about me on the weekend. Think about Think about these women. Think about these women with a bachelor degree, master degree, PhD on a Saturday and a Sunday. They don't know you. They don't know me. They don't know me when I'm not at work. See what I'm talking about? They don't know you when you're not at work. But when I'm at work, oh, hey, Eric, how you doing, Eric? Hey, Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing, Eric? When you at work. I'm talking about they real familiar with me. When I'm at work. Hey, how you doing, Eric? How you doing? Oh, how you doing, boss? And, I got to call them boss and all that. And then the people who ain't in, man, that's all you hear all day. Every time you greet somebody, you got to hear some nut walking around on the job, at work, at your place in the corner. What's up, boss? Hey, how you doing, boss? They call me boss and they call each other boss. They're so stupid, they don't know no other word. They don't know no other word. They got to say all this street slang at work, at your place of employment, on the job. But when you're not at work, I don't know none of these people, man. I don't socialize with all these people at work. I really don't. I don't have nothing to do with these people when I'm not at work. I really don't. I don't call nobody. I don't want nobody to call. I don't even answer my phone. I don't want to have nothing to do with you when I'm not at work. I really don't. Now, when it comes to that sorority and fraternity, Harvard University is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, William and Mary College, founded in Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693. Second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5th, 1776. The College of William and Mary, and is recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority founded in 1851, Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874 at Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York. Now, as you know, there's nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. Nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. And to be honest, being African American, I mean African American was brought over here from that East African, West African slave trade to be slaves here in the United States of America. And then you're talking about the first and second institution of higher learning. Harvard University, the first institution of higher learning. And then you got this second institution of higher learning, William and Mary College in Virginia. And you're talking about slaves being brought from sub-Saharan Africa. What make you think that's right? What make you think that's right? That's not right. That fraternity is not right. And then talking about the sorority after the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation. African Americans were being denied education and being discriminated against. What make you think that sorority right? That's not right. That's not right. It took African Americans to go through all that, and then you got to get all these bills and laws passed versus education, the civil rights bill, just to get the right to vote. I mean, what make you think the sorority right? Think about education when what's his name? But I'm not James Miracle, but he wasn't the only one. Think about what African Americans had to do just to be able to go to kindergarten. I'm serious. You remember that movie, Ruby Brown in Louisiana? Just to be able to go to elementary school, then the Brown versus education. The little girl, that's who Brown was, this little girl. She had to walk, I think she went to Kansas, one of the state of Kansas, the city of Kansas. The Brown versus had to walk to school while the little white children rode the bus. That's what Brown versus education was really about. Because this little black girl, she had to walk all the way to school when there was a school close by. Couldn't even go to their school. But you had to walk to another school way on the other side, unequal segregation. What make you think that's sorority right? How could you think that's right? The fraternity and the sorority. How could anybody think that's right? And then seeing Dr. Martin Luther King be assassinated, how could you think the fraternity and sorority right? You can't never say that's right. You can't never say that's right. And then, the basis of the sorority and fraternity is the old world secret society. The Freemasonry, as you know, they talk about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt. They talk about the Hollowell manuscript. The Cook manuscript. The Regis poem, the Hollowell manuscript, the Regis poem, the Matthew Cook manuscript, and with the Dowling manuscript. And then the Secret Society, Skull and Bones, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, the Thugs Society, the Private Society, the Order of Templars, Orientals, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Redmond, the P.O. Sisterhood, Freemasonry, and then Freemasonry, the Eastern Star, the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pythias, the Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forester Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veiled Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, the United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grange, the Ancient Order of Hermannades, and then all this I forgot on Instagram. I'm not being my Instagram, but the Spanish Gardenia, the Carbonarian, the Black Hand, the Mafia Cosa Nostra, the Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirican, and some more. It's organized crime. It's organized. That was the sorority fraternity. It's organized crime. See, they promote criminality. They criminals, and then they want to make any and everybody else criminals. Because see, you have to remember, organized crime not no skin color. Organized crime not no skin color. It's not no language. It's not no age. It's not no gender. It's not no sexual orientation. It's just criminals. They want any and everybody to support crime. That's what organized crime is. Just look around the world. Look around the world. You see all these refugees around the world. Think about it. It's organized crime. All these wars being fought. Central African Republic, Libya, Somalia, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. They just recently signed a peace agreement. North Sudan, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. All those sub-Saharan refugees. Look all around the world. Myanmar. We already know about the problem in Palestine and Israel. Iraq, Syria, the Ukraine, refugees all over the world. Name some more places. Yemen. Look at Yemen. Look what's going on in Yemen. See, refugees all over the world. Look what's going on in Mauritania. And then look here, right here in the United States of America. Mexico, Central America, South America got a caravan of people. You see what I'm talking about? Organized crime. It's not a skin color. It's not gender. It's not even age. Look at the caravan. It's not even a religion. Because organized crime, they took all the world religions and infiltrated and undermined the world religions. See, everywhere, organized crime want to be, they want the influence. They want to have any and everybody listening to organized crime. On this planet, they want every human being to be influenced by organized crime. That's what they're trying to do. Look, we still got a North Korea and a South Korea. It's organized crime. It's organized crime all around the world. It's organized crime. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, just like all the organizations I just mentioned, there's some more organizations. For example, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, the Conservation Fund, the League of Conservation Voters, Earthwatch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, the Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, Rainforest Trust, International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network, Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, International Marine Life Alliance. Now, those organizations, and there are many more organizations trying to make the world a better place for all of us to live, because and I mean, they are, like I say, there's many more. And then you think about the sorority and fraternity here in the United States of America. They try to infiltrate and undermine, because of organized crime. You have businesses, companies, corporations here in the United States of America. And then you have businesses, companies, and corporations outside of the United States of America. And Mexico, Canada, people start businesses, companies, corporations in Canada, Mexico, Latin, like Central America, South America, Sub-Saharan Africa, North Africa, Central Asia, East Asia, South Asia. People start businesses, companies, and corporations all over the world, not just here in the United States of America. When it comes to pollution, ground pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, the majority of it coming from the United States of America. And the reason being, when you know the history of industrialization, many countries and nations around the world recently have become industrialized. This is the reason why many nations around the world, they call them developing nations or developing countries, because recently they are trying to industrialize, become industrial, trying to progress and improve their economy. So when it comes to pollution, the majority of the pollution don't come from the United States of America. The sorority and the fraternity. This is not no fiction, this is a fact. Do a background check. I recommend do a background check. Then you will see. Then you will see. Do a background check. Do history, research on these businesses, companies, and corporations. Do a background check. on the border, ready to do a background check. CEO, what they call it, financial chief with the CFO. Do a background check. Let's watch what you find out. Sorority and fraternity. All that discrimination, all that harassment, the sorority and fraternity. Watch what you find out. You know, the sorority and fraternity, like we've been talking about, be on the campus. They commit all these crimes on campus and off campus. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. This is not no fiction. This is a fact. Every year they wait for these young men and women to graduate high school. Then they go to these college campuses and get initiated into these sororities and fraternities. So a lot of cases, when people get initiated, they done died. All around this country, they got court records. When you see, young men and women go to college, they done died because they tried to get initiated into a sorority, into a fraternity, and they died. So there's nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. There's nothing right about no sorority and no fraternity. They promote criminality. It's organized crime. It's organized crime. And to be honest with you, organized crime number devil worship. Because when you trace it all the way back, it goes all the way back when we be talking about reading the Bible. Yes, we're going to do it in a few minutes. When we were talking about the Perizzites and the Jebusites and the Hittites and the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Hittite, and who else? Who I leave out? The Jebusites, the Girgasites, and some more. The Moabites, the Philistines. They were devil worship. They were devil worship. When you read the Bible, they talk about all them. When God said these people were going after other God, they called their God some kind of name. They were devil worship. That's all they is, devil worship. They were organized crime. It was devil worship. You ain't got to argue with nobody. You don't have to argue with nobody and get defended. It's devil worship. Excuse me. And also, while it's on my mind, the United Nations on my mind. This week, United Nations, World Children's Day, end violence against women this week, United Nations Day, and also World AIDS Day. This was all this week, the United Nations. Thank God every day that we have a United Nations. Thank God every day we have a United Nations. We talk about the United Nations, but there's so many different, organizations in the United Nations. Thank God every day. Thank God every day we have a United Nations. Thank God every day for the United Nations and all the work that people all over the world in the United they do for humanity. And there's one more thing on my mind about it's on my mind because I had mentioned on my Instagram, and I wanted to make sure I didn't forget. And like we just got through talking about pollution and ground pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. The sorority and fraternity, all this discrimination, harassment. like environment, the wildlife, nature. Well, there's something else, like I said, this past week, where Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, but on the same day, see, that what came to my mind. It was on Thanksgiving Day. I was watching the dog show, the Westminster Dog Show, and they have all these different breeds, and it came to my mind about animal abuse, because we had been saying something about animal abuse, and then it came to my mind. I was watching the Westminster Dog Show, and I seen all those breeds of dogs. And I said, that's how people be trying to get away with abusing animals, with all these different dog breeds. Because, dogs have health problems too. They have health problems. And that's what a lot of the health problems came from. It's all these different dog breeds. And take for example, the pit bull. See, this is how people don't know what they're talking about. And when you see a pit bull, but you don't know where the pit bull came from. It came from a bulldog and a bull terrier. But see, if you knew what you was talking about, when you see a Staffordshire Terrier, you didn't have to do that. Because that's what a Staffordshire Terrier is. He got bulldog in him. He got mastiff in him. That's what he is. See, if you knew what you were talking about, when you see a bull terrier, that white, that white dog, he all white. The bull terrier, he all white. That's where he came from. The Staffordshire Terrier. They took the Staffordshire Terrier and started breeding them. And then they added a white dog. They added a white dog to make him white. That's where the bull terrier came from. He came from the Staffordshire Terrier. And see, when you see a bulldog and you see a Staffordshire Terrier, it's just like a bull mastiff. You see a bull mastiff, you just look at a Staffordshire Terrier, that's what he is. Because when you see a Staffordshire Terrier, that's how they made the Staffordshire Terrier. They took some mastiffs and they took some bulldogs and made a Staffordshire Terrier. And then you came out with this pit bull. You took a bulldog and you took a bull terrier and mated them, and then you had a pit bull. See, there wasn't no need to do that. See, this is how people abuse animals. That's animal abuse. That's how you abuse animals. And see, you didn't even think about the health problem. Take a bulldog, for instance. He has skin problem. Ask any veterinarian, they'll tell you a bulldog, he have health problem. He has skin problem. So when you see a pit bull, he inherited the skin problem from the bulldog. Then take the bull terrier. He got health problem. And then you made it the bulldog and the bull terrier. So now that dog, the pit bull, he have health problem that he inherited from the bulldog and the bull terrier. See, this is how people be trying. This is animal abuse. The health problem the dogs have. They have health problems. Take a German Shepherd. Take a German Shepherd for this. A German Shepherd. If anybody see a German, you know a German Shepherd when you see one. But if you know the health problem about it, a German Shepherd have a hip problem. All German Shepherds, you ask any veterinarian, they'll tell you, when you talk about a German Shepherd, they'll all tell you there's a health problem that all German Shepherds have. He have a hip problem. That's the reason why he stand the way he stand. He have what they call the hip dysplasia. He have a hip problem. And then you got some nut walking around. You better take the German Shepherd and mate him with some other dog. And you ain't even think about that other dog could possibly have some health problems too. And then the puppies, they inherit the health problem from the German Shepherd and the other dog. See, this is how people be abusing animals. You have to be on the lookout for all these crossbreeds. Because see, when you see all the dogs today, just like the German Shepherd, he have a health problem by himself. You can take two German Shepherds, a boy and a girl, and mate them together. They gonna still have health problem by themselves. The puppies, the German Shepherd puppies, they gonna be born with the health problem from their mom and dad. But if you take that German Shepherd and mate them, with a Labrador Retriever, he gonna have a health problem. That dog gonna have a health problem. He gonna inherit the health problem from the German Shepherd, and he gonna inherit health problem from the Labrador Retriever. That's dog. That's animal abuse. You be abusing animals when you do that. You need to be on the lookout when you see these breeds of dogs, because all dogs they have health problems on their own. But when you see these crossbreeds, these mixing dogs up, like the pit bull, these dogs have health problems. And see, this is how people be abusing animals. And cats. Cats the same thing. All that mixing them, health problems. People be abusing animals. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. When you see a Chihuahua being mixed with a bulldog, be on animal abuse. It don't make no sense. As well as I do. You see some of these dogs and you can be like, man, what is you doing? What are you doing? You abusing these animals. You ain't making no sense. You're not making no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. Be on the lookout, because people be abusing animals. That's one form of animal abuse. And when you be crossbreeding and mixing dogs and all that, and now nations all over the earth, they enact laws, including the United States government, and these laws are enacted. They are intended to make each and every one of us safe from crime. Now, the United States government, they enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, the RICO Act, is anti-gang. Now, the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substances Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, Kingpin, is all anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, as well as other related legislation. It's anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the United States Department of Justice, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, and Project Safe Neighborhoods. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Service, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative. The Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State, the Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education and Training, and great program. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, October 2009. The National Youth Gang Center, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Police Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center, compilation of state laws against gang prevention overview of research and program. Mr. James C. the Office of Juvenile Justice and Police Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistant, Office of Juvenile Justice and Police Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin. In the title of the book, History of Street Gangs in the United States. Read the books in the bulletin. And also, quick reference to Wikipedia. You find the same information titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney General, 1457 Criminal Street Gang Statute, 18 United States Code 521. The United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center. The United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. And there are other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control. Changing course, preventing gang membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, United States Department of Education, United States Department of Health and Human Services, United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control, the National Forum Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum Youth Violence Prevention, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative and the Comprehensive Gang Model. The United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistant, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs, and also anti-hazing. You can go to lawyers.gov and be informed about anti-hazing. See, the reason why this is important to continue to talk about. See, the sorority and the fraternity, they promote criminality. They'll sit around and talk about the Constitution. See, the United States Department of Justice, they told you that organized crime stuff is wrong. See, it goes all the way back. Even before slavery and all that, you had the Department of Justice. Once the United States government became a nation, all the 13 colonies, they became the United States of America. And then you had all these departments. The main department, the United States Department of Justice. They've been telling you from ever since it's wrong. Organized crime and that gang stuff is wrong. It's wrong. When they had all that organized crime stuff before and during Prohibition and after Prohibition. That's the reason why you talk about Chicago and Los Angeles and all. See, it wasn't that it didn't have anything to do with people themselves. It was organized crime. It was organized crime. That's where it come from. It come from organized crime. They've been telling you it's wrong. With the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, they told you it was wrong. All that gang stuff, they told racketeering influence and corrupt organization at federal and state and local. They told you it's wrong. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1994, it established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. They told you it's wrong. They told you that organized crime stuff and gang stuff is wrong. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, that's the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. And the Comprehensive Gang Model, that's the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The Bureau of Justice Assistant and the Office of Justice Program, that's the United States Department of Justice. They told you it's wrong. They told you it's wrong. They're telling you over and over it's wrong. The great program, the Department of State, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotic Law Enforcement Affairs, the Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs. They tell you it's wrong. Gang resistant educating and training, they told you it's wrong. Over and over again being told it's wrong. You see, that's important. Because see, that's how the sorority and fraternity been getting over on people for long. They try to influence people. They think they can talk about the Constitution in neighborhoods all around the country. They try to negatively influence the young women and the young men when they come to college, to get you to support, to join the sorority and fraternity. They try to make it sound about freedom of expression and freedom of assembly and all that. They're trying to use the Constitution as a way to influence you to support the sorority and fraternity. The United States Department of Justice told you it's wrong. They told you it's wrong. The National Gang Assembly, they told you it's wrong. And then the United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau investigating the National Gang Intelligence Center. They're telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, the Organized Crime and Gang Section. They're telling you it's wrong. No matter what, no sorority, no fraternity, trying to influence you, negatively influence. Talking about no Constitution. The United States Department of Justice telling you, Organized Crime and Gang Section. They're telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategy, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, they're telling you it's wrong. They're telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, changing course, preventing gang membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. They're telling you it's wrong. What you doing listening to the sorority and the fraternity, talking about some freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and the Department of Justice telling you it's wrong. Preventing gang membership, striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The Department of Justice telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention. They're telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs. They're telling you it's wrong. What the sorority and fraternity got to say to the National Crime Prevention Council, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, what the sorority and fraternity gonna say to young women and young men? What they gonna say to the general public about freedom of assembly, freedom of expression? When the Department of Justice is constantly telling you over and over and over again, it's wrong. Organized crime is wrong. Gangs is wrong. They're telling you it's wrong. Anti-hazing. They're telling you it's wrong. Now we're finna do some Bible reading. And also, don't forget, do a background check. Do a background check. There's sorority and fraternity, businesses, companies, and corporations here in the United States of America. People start businesses, companies, and corporations. You have businesses, companies, and corporations that are not based here in the United States of America. They were started in Mexico by the Mexican people, in Latin America, Central America, Central America, South America, Canada, people in Central Asia, people in Europe, people in South and East Asia. They start businesses, companies, and corporations. People in North and Sub-Saharan Africa. They start businesses, companies, and corporations. They're not based here in the United States of America. They're based in those countries. See, this is what the sorority and fraternity. We were talking about the Foreign Service and the Peace Corps, the U.S. military. See, when you think you're getting away with that ignorant nonsense, talking about some gangs and organized crime, people all over the world, they resent that stuff, man. They resent it. They really do. They resent it. Because personally, I resent. I'm here in the United States. I resent. Because the Justice Department already told me it's wrong. Organized crime and gangs is wrong. Just like everything else, murder, rape, robbery, burglary is wrong. Embezzlement, wrong. Kidnapping, wrong. It's a long list. Wrong. See, that's the reason why the blood gang, the Crip gang out there in Los Angeles, they're being sorority and the fraternity, being misled by the sorority and fraternity. Up there in Chicago, Illinois, the folk gang and the My People gang, misled by the sorority and fraternity. Speaking of organized crime, the first time you can see the word Jew in the Bible, the Old Testament, the book of Esther, the 2nd chapter, verse number 5. Jews, plural. Old Testament, 2 Kings, chapter 16, verse number 6. We're talking about, we continue talking about the children of Israel. See, it's a difference. It's not the same. The children of Israel and the Jews, the Jew is not the same. That's who the Jew is. The Jews is. God told the children of Israel to utterly destroy the Canaanite, the Amorite, the Perizzite, the Hittite, the Hittite, the Jebusite, and the Girgashite. God said, destroy them. Don't leave any remnant of them whatsoever. Destroy them. That's the reason why. Because they were devil worship. That was organized crime. They were devil worship. God, the 5 books of Moses and Joshua, Judges, and Nehemiah, Israel. God, the children of Israel. God said, destroy them people because they're going after other gods. The other god, the devil. The devil. Organized crime. That's where the organized crime, the Jews, that's where it went the children of Israel. It was them people that God told you to utterly destroy, including the Moabites and the Philistines, all these people that the children of Israel was constantly in war with. God said destroy them. That's organized crime. They were devil worship. Read Numbers chapter 25, Israel's harlotry in Moab. Deuteronomy 7, a chosen people. Deuteronomy 13, the dream or dream. Judges chapter 2 and 3. Ezra chapter 9. In that chapter titled Intermarriage with Pagans. Emphasize verse number 12. And for all those who are watching, watch my YouTube video, my Periscope video, following along, you can go to BibleStudyTube.com to follow along. You can also go to BibleGateway.com to follow along. Now, talking about organized crime, the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church. As you know, the Catholic Church, Saint Ignatius of Antioch, he wrote several letters in the first century. In one of his letters he wrote, he put the phrase Catholic Church. He wrote it was his letter he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And in that letter, he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. They made it up. It was organized crime. Now the Catholic Church and all their particular churches, the Latin Rite, that's Latin, the Alexandrian Rite, that's the Coptic, the Ethiopian, the Eritrean, the Armenian Rite, that's the Armenian, the Byzantine Rite, and that's the Albanian, the Belarusian, the Bulgarian, the Croatian, the Serbian, the Greek, the Hungarian, the Italo-Albanian, the Macedonian, the Melkite, the Romanian, the Russian, the Ruthenian, the Slavic, and the Ukrainian, the East Syrian Rite, the Chaldean, the Syro-Malabar, the West Syrian Rite, the Maronite, the Syrian, the Syro-Manichaean. And then you have the Protestant Reformation movement churches, the 95 Theses, organized crime, the major branches, Adventism, Anabaptism, Anglicanism, Baptist churches, Calvinism, Lutheranism, Methodism, and Pentecostalism. Minor branches, Hussitism, Wallaceanism, Plymouth Brethren, the Holiness Movement, the Quakerism, and then there are multiple others. The interdenominational movement, evangelicalism, the charismatic movement, and the neo-charismatic movement. The other developments, Arminianism, Pietism, Puritanism, Neo-Orthodoxy, Paleo-Orthodoxy, Christian fundamentalism, modernism, and liberalism. Related movements, non-denominational churches, and house churches. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, Churches of Christ, the Unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregations, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. And then you have all these cult leaders, for example, Jim Jones, David Koresh, what's his name, the Mormons, L. Ron Hubbard. And then you have the Mormons. They talking about they had a prophet. Talking about he wrote a book. Then you have all these, these black groups like the American Muslim Society. the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, all these various black Hebrew Israelites, the Rastafarian movement, and then, for example, the Sikhs started around the 15th century. Around 15th century. And then you have like the Baha'i. See, a lot of these people, they took words out the Bible, and by that time they had already had Islam that came along. They took words out the Quran. And so don't be, don't think like these individuals who started these movements and groups like it was something that it was organized crime. It was organized by the 15th century. By the 15th century, the disciples was in the first century. It ain't like they didn't know about, the disciples, and then you had the Catholic Church, and then all this Protestant Reformation movement and all that. And by that time, that's the reason why the Sikhs and the Baha'i. That's the reason why I keep saying, criminal and civil charge. It's a crime being committed. See, all this stuff is devil worship. It's devil worship. It's organized crime, and that's what organized crime is. See, when you reject God's word, and you take the word out the Bible, and you use and misuse, distort God's word, you worship the devil. You deceived by the devil. You deceived by the devil. You're a devil worshiper. You're a devil worshiper. That's exactly what you are. Now you can try to, you can try to disguise your devil worship and try to pretend that like the Catholic Church, like the Protestant Reformation movement, saying gospel music. You can try to disguise your devil worship. The Miracle Restoration movement, but you don't fool God with your devil worship, because that's what the devil did. He deceived a whole lot of people, and still deceiving people today. It's devil worship. It's devil worship. There's only one church. There's only one church. Turn in your Bible to the book of Matthew, chapter 16. Jesus Christ established the one and only church. There's only one church. Jesus Christ established only one church. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. Now, we're in Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. It reads, when Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, "Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" And they said, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and other Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He said unto them, "But whom say ye that I am?" And Simon Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered and said unto him, "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. That's Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. Let us turn to Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. Now I was looking at the time on my YouTube video. Now we're in Matthew chapter 18, and we're going to read verses 15 through 20. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a public. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. There's only one church. There's only one church. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. Gonna file criminal and civil charges. The United Nations, thank God, every day we have a United Nations, the International Criminal Court. Gonna file criminal charges against the Catholic Church. Criminal and civil charge against the Catholic Church and all their particular. It's a crime. It's a crime being committed. It's a crime being committed by the Catholic Church and all their particular churches. The Protestant Reformation churches, all those churches I just mentioned. It's a crime being committed. The American Restoration Movement, the Stone Counter Movement, it's a crime being committed. It's organized crime, devil worship, criminal and civil charges. The American Muslim Society, criminals. You ain't smart. You're not smart. The Nation of Islam, the Moorish Science Temple, criminal and civil charge. You ain't getting away. 5% Nation, you ain't getting away. Criminal and civil charge. All these so-called black Hebrew Israelites, criminal and civil charge. You ain't getting away. The Rastafari movement, criminal and civil charge. You ain't getting away. You ain't getting away. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He lied. He's a liar. He's a murderer. He's the devil. He's the devil. He lied. He said he was an apostle. He was lying. He lied about his conversion. He was lying. It was him that was walking on this. Came over to Antioch. Talking about a Christian and Christians. See, that's what organized crime did. Jesus Christ never said anything about being no Christian, no Christians. It was organized crime. See, this is one of the lies that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, this is one of the lies he told. Romans chapter 16, verse 16, calling himself an apostle. church and churches. Salute one another with the Holy Kiss, the church, with the suffix es. Churches of Christ salute you. Second Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory you in the church with the suffix es, churches of God, for your patience and faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. See, Saul lied. See, that's what all these Catholic Church and all their particular churches, all the Protestant Reformation, Reformation movement churches, the 95 Theses, the American Restoration movement, and all these cults like the Sikhs and the Baha'i, they take words out of the Bible and the Quran, use and misuse, and all these different cult leaders like Jim Jones and David Koresh, L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, the Mormons. They take words out the Bible, use and misuse. So you deceived by the devil. You deceived by the devil. It's organized crime. You're devil worship. Criminal and civil charge. See, Jesus Christ never said Christian or Christian. God never told nobody, no Christian or Christian, and to take the word saint and saints. Talking about some Saint Ignatius and Saint Valentine and Saint Patrick and Saint Nick. So you take words and use and abuse. You use and misuse these, to take advantage of other people. You deceive and then you go around trying to deceive others. Criminal and civil charge. Saul going around telling everybody he an apostle. In all those epistles he wrote, he was lying. He's not no apostle. This is the second epistle of Peter, the Apostle Peter, chapter 3, verse 2. That ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior. This is the epistle of Jude, chapter 1, verse 17. But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to turn to the book of Revelation of Jesus Christ. The book of Revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 1. I'm going to read verse 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest write in the book, and send it unto the seven churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. Now this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 2, verse 2. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars. The revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 18, verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. This is the revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 21, verse 14. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Now I'm going to turn over to the book of Matthew. Turn to the book of Matthew. Chapter 28. We're going to read verses 16 through 20. Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He gave a commission to his apostles. He gave a commission to his apostles. Again, we're going to read Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. And it reads, Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Jesus had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. And also, like I said, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, gave commission to his apostles. Now we just read Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. And you can also go to the book of Mark, chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. The book of Luke, chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. You can also go to the book of John and read chapter 21. Now we're going to go to the book of Acts. We're going to start reading at chapter 1. The book of Acts, chapter 1. Again, we're in the book of Acts, chapter 1. We start reading verse 1. The former treasons have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus began both to do and teach, until the day in which he was taken up, after that he through the Holy Ghost and given commandments unto the apostles, whom he had chosen, to whom also he shewed himself alive after his baptism by many infallible proofs, being seen in them 40 days, speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of God. And being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which saith he, Ye have heard of me. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Ghost not many days here. When they therefore come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the season which the Father hath put in his own power. But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost will come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward him as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. They returned they unto Jerusalem from the mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem a 7 days journey. And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room where abode both Peter and James and John and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew and Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon Zelotes, and Judas the brother of James. These all continued with one accord in prayer and supplication with the women, and Mary the mother of Jesus, and with his brethren. And in those days Peter stood up in the midst of the disciples, and said, The number of names together were about 120. Men and brethren, the scripture must needs have been fulfilled, which the Holy Ghost by the mouth of David spake before concerning Judas, which was guide to them that took Jesus. For he was numbered with us, and obtained part of this ministry. Now this man purchased a field with the reward of iniquity, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst of all his bowels gushed out. And it was known unto all the dwellers at Jerusalem, insomuch that that field is called in their proper tongue Acelmate, that is to say, the field of blood. For it is written in the book of Psalms, Let his habitation be desolate, and let no man dwell in, and his bishopric let another take. Wherefore these men which have company with us all the time, that the Lord Jesus went in and out among us, beginning from the baptism of John to that same day that he was taken up from us, must one be ordained, to be a witness with us of his resurrection. And they appointed to Joseph called Barsabbas, who was surnamed Justus, and Matthias. And they prayed and said, Thou Lord, which knowest the hearts of all men, shew whether these two thou hast chosen, that they may take part of this ministry and apostleship from which Judas by transgression fell, that he might go to his own place. And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Matthias, and he was numbered with 11 apostles. There's only 12 apostles. There's only 12 apostles. Only 12. Saul from Tarsus, self-proclaimed apostle. He lied. He lied. He ain't no apostle. He lied. He the devil. We're going to read chapter 2. Acts chapter, start reading verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all in one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues, and the Spirit gave them others. There's no such thing as no speaking in tongues. There's no such thing. They made it up. The devil worshippers, organized crime, they made it up. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Now when this was known about, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own language, wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Edomites, and the dwellers in Mesopotamia, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Persia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya, about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Greeks and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongue the wonderful works of God. And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, What meaneth this? Others mocking, saying, These men are full of new wine. But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, Ye men of Judea, and all ye that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken to my words, for these are not drunken, as ye suppose, seeing it is but the 3rd hour of the day. But this is that which is spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, when your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And on my servants and on my handmaids I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And they will shew wonders, and I will shew wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words, Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. Him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God, ye have taken, and by wicked hands have crucified and slain, whom God hath raised up, having loosed the pains of death, because it was not possible that he should be holy of it. For David speak concerning him, I foresaw the Lord always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I shall not be moved. Therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover also my flesh shall rest in hope. because thou wilt not leave my son in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Thou hast made known to me the ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with thy countenance. Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day. Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that God has sworn with an oath to him, that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he will raise up Christ to sit on his throne. He seeing this before spake of the resurrection of Christ, that his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption. This Jesus have God raised up, whereof we are all witnesses. Therefore, being by the right hand of God exalted, and having received of the Father the promise of the Holy Ghost, he hath shed forth this which ye now see and hear. For David is not ascended into the heavens, but he said of himself, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand, until I make thy foe thy footstool. Therefore, let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God have made that same Jesus, whom ye have crucified, both Lord and Christ. Now when they heard this, they were pricked in their heart, and said unto Peter and to the rest of the apostles, Men and brethren, what shall we do? Then Peter said unto them, Repent, and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ, for the remission of sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. For the promise is unto you, and to your children, and to all that are far off, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, Save yourselves from this ungodly generation. Then they that gladly received his word were baptized. And the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, in fellowship, and in breaking of bread, and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together, and had all things come, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men, as every man had need. And they continued daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, and did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God, and having faith with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. I'm going to read chapter 3, starting verse number 1. Now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the ninth hour. And a certain man lame from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Who seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And Peter fastened his eyes upon him with John, saying, Look on us. And he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them. Then Peter said, Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give I thee. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk. And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up, and immediately his feet and ankle bones received strength. And he leaping up stood and walked, and entered with them into the temple, walking and leaping and praising God. And all the people saw him walking and praising God, and they knew that it was he which sat for alms at the beautiful gate of the temple. And they were filled with wonder and amazement at that which had happened unto him. And as the lame man which was healed held Peter and John, all the people ran together unto them, and the porch that is called Solomon, greatly wondering. And when Peter saw it, he answered unto the people, Ye men of Israel, why marvel ye at this? Or why look ye so earnestly on us, and though by our own power or holiness we have made this man to walk. The God of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob, the God of our fathers, hath glorified his Son Jesus, whom ye delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate, when he was determined to let him go. But ye denied the Holy One and the just, and desired a murderer to be granted unto you, and killed the Prince of Life, whom God hath raised from the dead, whereof we are witnesses. And his name through faith, and his name hath made this man strong, whom ye see and know. Yea, the faith which is by him hath given him this perfect soundness in the presence of you all. And now, brethren, I want that through ignorance ye did it, as did also your rulers. But those things which God before had shewed by the mouth of all his prophets, that Christ should suffer, he hath so fulfilled. Repent ye therefore, and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. And he shall send Jesus Christ, which before was preached unto you, whom the heaven must receive until the times of restitution of all things which God has spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets, since the world began. For Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren like unto me. Him shall ye hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. Yea, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. Ye are the children of the prophets, and of the covenant which God made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed. Unto you first God, having raised up his Son Jesus, sent him to bless you, and turn away every one of you from his iniquities. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to stop this video. It'll take me about a minute. I'm going to stop this video and then I'm going to start another video because it takes too long to upload. So just give me a minute here.